Hello and welcome everyone to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black and this is yet another Fallout New Vegas mods spotlight. Today we are taking a look at the Hidden Bunker by KnowMadic. And just as with the last player home that I spotlit, there is a lot to cover with this one. So again, I'm going to have to, rather than really preparing my notes to speak on, just kind of freeform it and go with it. You can see behind me the little graded entrance down into the bunker proper, but before we go inside, I want to note one of the other nice little touches that come with this mod that are really impressive to me. That would be the railcar fast travel system located nearby. Now, for the sake of relevant location, if you don't recognize this particular spot, the Hidden Bunker does come with its own map marker and is located just to the east of Prim. It is, of course, a little bit to the southeast of Goodsprings, so you can actually gain access to this relatively early in the game. However, if you don't feel inclined to use the map fast travel, once you get to this rail car here, you can activate the handcar and say, take a trip to Goodsprings. And that is really, really awesome. I've only played with this a little bit, having only recently downloaded this mod. Hello! This is Powder Ganger. Come to interrupt my mod spotlight. How dare you, sir! That is quite rude of you. Well, now that we've had our fun, and we've met the local flavor, let us have a look back here. Isn't that just a beautiful sight? I love this game. And I've only taken this around to a few different places, but it can take you from Nipton to Goodsprings to the 188 to the Strip even, and to the Nellis Air Force Base, as well as taking one back home. I haven't tested all of those. I presume they work, seeing as I've tested 2 or 3 of them. And that is a really cool way to handle allowing players to sort of fast travel without just using the map fast travel system, which I know some players don't like to do for the purposes of role-playing, or who just don't like the sort of stop-start gameplay that kind of lends itself to, likening it instead to more of like a Morrowind-style gameplay, where you really have to kind of walk to wherever you want to go. I don't particularly play that way, but I like that this caters to those who do. Now, moving inside to the secret entrance to the Hidden Bunker, there is a quick little, it's not really a quest, but you do have a task associated with getting full access to all of the features of this mod, and it is located in the door to the right, immediately upon entry. There's an electrical issue, there we are, that's conveniently timed. There appears to be an electrical issue, and as a result, no power. Try checking the breaker box in the storage room. I don't really know why at first. Listen carefully. Yeah, it sounds like there are whales in the background. I don't remember that being... Yes, thank you. Thank you for that update again. I don't remember that being part of the vanilla game's stock background, so I think that may be a new addition for this mod pre-electrical fixing. It just kind of seems an odd choice, seeing as there shouldn't be any whales underground. Alright, anyway, as for the breaker box looks to be fine, but one of the fuses appears to be blown. With the proper know-how and some scrap electronics, you could replace the fuse, and power would be restored. It requires a repair skill of 15 or higher, and 1 piece of scrap electronics to fix. Check the room for the scrap electronics. They're actually located in the conveniently labeled breaker box parts. Even has a Fixin' Things magazine, so if you're really playing a truly repair-deficient character, you can still come over here and fix this. So replace the fuse. Ta-da, and now we can click on the power. Excellent. Now then, isn't that much more bright and inviting? I'm just going to once again make a circuit of the entire home and point out as many of the nice little touches in here as I can. First and foremost are the fact that, like the Underground Bunker, one of the other most popular home mods on the Nexus, this has a full sorting and stocking system. So it'll sort all of your items into all of the labeled storage containers throughout the home. Had to catch my breath there for a second. And you can then hit the stocking interface after you sort. Make sure you do it in that order. And your items will then actually show up inside of a lot of these containers. Some of these have scripted hinges to the doors so that they'll open smoothly. Others just kind of snap open, depending upon what resources are used. As you can see, this particular character has a lot of medical items on his person, which is convenient for this, seeing as it makes for a nice way to show this off. Between those are the prototype life pod, which you can do a great deal with. This is a little bit balance disruptive, seeing as you can basically fix anything using this pod, but I like it all the same. The Mark 9 Autodoc Medical Interface. Welcome to the Mark 9 Autodoc state-of-the-art medical interface. Select an option from the menu below to begin a procedure. Please use caution while using this device, as it may cause life-threatening injuries. It hasn't done that to me, but I've only played with it a little bit. You can, of course, use nanotech health regeneration, even. Let's see if I can not stumble over words. Body cleansing, which I assume means it will get rid of your radiation and any addictions you may have. Reconstructive surgery, which will allow you to access the face gen menu, and even gender reconstructive surgery, so that you can see what you would look like as a female. No, you're not going to see a female Gabe. I'm sorry. There is only so much I'm willing to subject my courier to. Over here, more of the medical fridge, so you can actually get a hold of some of the things in your inventory that would make sense for being stored in a cold environment, like the syringes and the thin red paste, which is more or less blood. That, of course, coming from one of the other mods, or no, that's not a mod, that's from a DLC. I believe that's from Honest Hearts. There is a My First Laboratory, so just as with so many other homes that feature these, you can create a new compound or detoxify yourself. Obviously, looking at the decor, it says that the sorters, my god, I keep stumbling over words, are DLC friendly. It doesn't, I don't believe, explicitly state that this requires any DLCs, although I may have overlooked that. But obviously, looking at what's around here, this is a mod that sources a lot of material from Fallout New Vegas' DLCs, especially, it looks like, Old World Blues. So if you don't have that, I can't promise you that this mod is going to work properly. You may also notice there's a Gek here on the table. This is definitely the home of someone with ambitious goals. And over here, one of my favorite little spaces in this mod. I like this table, as it really actually looks like someone who kind of is a wasteland adventurer prospector would just kind of have a desk like this. It's got the gambling over there for when you just want to hang out, and the maps and scrolls and plans for when it comes time to do business. Once again, over here you can stock magazines, although where's the sorter for that? Okay, you can just immediately go straight into the stocking, and that goes onto that shelf. Over here, once again, is a cooking range, which one can use for all of your food crafting needs, as well as, where are we here? Sortomatic, sort all of my food, and you know what, let's just click all. There we go. And now stock it all. Should show up on these shelves, hopefully. There we go. There's a little bit of a delay in these showing up, especially if you have a lot of them. This cabinet, by the way, is also toggleable. I don't know that anything actually shows up in it, but little touches like that I appreciate. Are there any of these? No, those don't seem to be openable. I'm still kind of exploring this place a little bit myself, seeing as I have only recently downloaded it. I've now gotten a good enough look at it, I think, to properly spotlight it. And again, we have a water purifier, as many player homes do. Welcome to the Robco Industries state-of-the-art water purifier. With this device, you can turn all of that pesky, unpurified, or irradiated water into clean drinking water. So we'll leave that alone for now, seeing as I don't really need to mess with it. You've also got a pristine Noddle Nuka-Cola vending machine, which I do believe you can actually stock with your Nuka-Cola and make use of. Moving over here, we have the living quarters, and immediately inside the stocking interface for your snow globes. Unfortunately, I've only got one, so I can only kind of show this off right now. And each of these little cot spaces that are around this center mast are, I think, given the decor, meant to represent the living spaces of one of the vanilla game companions. I don't think they're all represented, but this one with the whiskey, the guns, and the classic picture of a lady that I believe is supposed to be Sharon Cassidy, I think is Cass's bunk. And you can actually toggle them so that they will hang up or down. A nice touch, if I do say so myself. Moving around, I do believe this would be Arcade Ganon's bunk, seeing as it's got a lot of books, pencils, and all of them have a breathing mask for some reason, so that's actually going to be coming from Lonesome Road. And if you want a breathing mask, here's a place to get it. Once again, toggle up and down. Unfortunately, it does not appear that Boone's cot is represented, because it is my theory that this is meant to be Veronica's cot, seeing as those are not normal dog tags. Those are holo tags, which the Brotherhood of Steel uses. And she is also a melee specialist, so the combat knife I think would fit her a little bit better. There's also a copy of Lincoln's diary and a set of reading glasses. Now then, around the edges of the room are the sorters for clothing and armor, and inside of these cabinets are once again toggleable doors. Inside of this one is a ghost suit, something that I was really not expecting to see in here. And across the room in here are hangers and duffel bags. I have seen in the screenshots for this mod other armors show up on those shelves. Unfortunately, I tried this before recording this as I was kind of doing my familiarization walkthrough of this mod. I don't think I've got any armors on me that will show up, but there are some that if you sort them and then stock them, will actually show up on these shelves, which is a really, really nice touch. And of course, there's plenty of labeled storage throughout the room as well, even underneath the cots. So there's a lot of actually good, efficient space management in here as well. And I should also note, seeing as he kind of got in my way in the door here, that I've brought Farsight along once again, as I do for pretty much every player home that I spotlight, to demonstrate that this is fully nav-meshed and therefore companion-friendly, seeing as he hasn't really glitched through any walls or gotten stuck in any doorways. Okay, now that I've caught my breath, my favorite room, really, because, hey, it's weapons and armor and crafting. So, let's just make a little circuit around the room, shall we? I've got to catch my breath with this place. There's so much here. So, let's see. Where's these sorts? Oh, Matic. There we are. So we're going to sort ammunition and then stock ammunition. This one takes several seconds because I've got a lot of ammunition and there are a lot of shelves to stock from. But I really like how lived in and used systems like this actually make player homes look. This is by no means the first player home to make a use of such a thing, but every time that player home modders use systems like these, it always makes me smile. I always like the look and feel of it. So obviously, this is all ammunition storage. This would be explosives storage. Seems I've only got one mini nuke on me. Not anymore. Over here is a reloading bench, and a sorter in the middle for all of your primer, your casings, pretty much everything that you will need for storage when it comes to ammunition crafting. There's also a custom weapons tab, not tab, locker, sorry, for storing essentially modded in weapons. Over here, we also have, of course, a proper crafting bench for building whatever you may, and a sort-o-matic. We're just going to go for all, and a stalker for all of your weapons. I had to retreat back to the player home that I use the most often and kind of grab a few of my weapons that I thought would show up on here to actually show this off. And as you can see, they're kind of spread throughout the room. That would be my sniper rifle, an assault carbine, and several others. I'm not sure where pistols and such would show up. I've only really played with this a little bit, but that kind of gives you an idea of the fact that all of these railings and shelves will eventually be stocked if you essentially take a collector, completionist view to your looting and come back and stock all of your shelves with these, which again, I really, really like. That was one of my favorite features of the underground hideout, which I used extensively for a long time, a matter of years when it came to playing this game. I loved essentially collecting as many weapons as I could to fully stock my armory walls. Unfortunately, because of a lot of mod conflicts, I've had to get away from using that, and this mod, I think, will kind of scratch that itch for me once again. So, that was a lot of content. I do believe that about wraps the Hidden Bunker player home, everybody. I have really, really enjoyed having a walk through this, really taking a look at just how much this mod has to offer. It's one of the most ambitious player homes that I have seen to date on the Nexus, especially recently, seeing as a lot of player homes have kind of slowed down in recent memory when it comes to mods getting uploaded to the Nexus. So, thank you all for joining me here at Last Level Press. Again, this is the Hidden Bunker by KnowMadic, available for download on the Fallout New Vegas Nexus. I am Mr. Black here at Last Level Press, and as always, I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.